Hello there again, folks. We are broadcasting another set here out of the round of 16 of the IPL Season 2 qualifiers. This is Cat's Pajamas.
And this is Pain User.
And let's go ahead and get things started. Game number one between our Orange Terran player here in the top right-hand corner of Xel'Naga Caverns. We have Forever. His opponent in the bottom left-hand corner, our pink Protoss player, is Flashback. Now, just want to remind you guys that this is round of 16, so this is a best of 5. The winner of the set actually does qualify for IPL Season 2. So we'll see what both these players have in store for us. TVP should be a fun matchup.
Should be a fun matchup indeed, and already off the bat, one thing I don't think is necessarily in Forever's favor is the map selection. Xel'Naga Caverns is a rough map for Terran in general, especially Terran versus Protoss. It's just very difficult to take your natural expansion, a lot of 4-gate, 3-gate aggression, 3-gate into Expo with aggression. I mean, there's so many different things they can do to pressure you while taking their expansion relatively safely. You're almost forced to do some type of siege tank expand or just take it real slow before you eventually push down and take your natural expansion. So it'll be interesting to see if he tries to do some heavy aggression on Forever. I don't know either of these players' playing style that well. I think I have heard of Forever before, but I can't say that I know his play style. So can't talk about that aspect of the game, but I can certainly talk about possible builds that they might use and things of that nature. But we'll see how that unfolds once we get a little farther into this game.
Absolutely, and these players are certainly no slouch, though, because, you know, these players have run through the gauntlet of quite an extensive run of players, and the winner of this, like I said, does qualify for IPL Season 2, so if we haven't heard of these players or aren't too familiar with their playstyle yet, we certainly will here coming up. So just a gateway coming down now for Flashback, everything opening fairly standardly. See if he actually ends up going for a 19 double assimilator, or if he's just going to sit back on a little more overt gateway pressure and expand builds, and there's the resources for it, but he's not actually putting it up quite yet. Forever just kind of dancing back and forth with that SEV, so we may very well see, oh, there it is, there we go, there's the 19 gas coming down. Was just well into the pro production. Back here on the Terran side of things, we do have a tech lab just being finished on the barracks. A quick Marauder coming out, nothing too surprising there. No concussive shell actually being brought up at the moment, though. So it looks like he's going to pressure just behind some unupgraded for Marauders for the time being, or do you think he's just saving up and waiting for that here?
I don't know. He dropped that second Rax on 21, so kind of interesting. I mean, if you're gonna 2-Rax, generally you can get that get that second Rax up quite a bit earlier. And he's also gonna get another depot, so not looking to expand anytime soon. He's probably gonna build up a small Marine Marauder force, then expand. But I actually like the 2-Rax on this map. It makes things much safer. Without the 2-Rax, it makes expanding incredibly difficult. I don't know if I like this pulling these two SCVs. It can pay off. You can get lucky. You may catch a stalker out in the midfield. He might not be paying attention. Concussive shells are not done. He waited a little bit too long on that. Flashback making a bit of a miss micro right there, but he's going to be okay. Generally against a very high-tier Protoss player, as soon as they see those Marauders, they're going to pull away before the first shot even goes off. And didn't matter there. Concussive shell wasn't done, but it looks like he's going to send those two SCVs back, and that's why I said these push timings, this is such an old school push timing right here. Yeah, you can bring it back. Yeah, you can make it work, but the odds that you're going to do damage, especially in today's day and age, players are so apt at dealing with those small early game pushes from Terran, and to be honest, it's risky. If you commit up the ramp, you're risking losing your entire army, and then their counterattack will most assuredly kill you.
Yeah, absolutely. And the big question is, though, is he going to get Flashback to commit to a build that he maybe necessarily didn't want to push into? Looks like the 3-gate is down, and he has enough for an expansion unless he's just going to wait for a huge warp-in of units here. Looks like those sentries coming out nice and early. That warp gate technology just about to finish, of course, taking 160 seconds now. And those Marauders are actually pushing forward again. Do snipe a probe that was sitting there at the middle of the natural. Looks like Flashback is going to make his way back in. He is floating quite a bit of resources, has not committed to any sort of expansion yet. There we go. There's the Shadow finally, just a little bit late on these timings. So both these players, seems like it's just a little bit uncomfortable. Maybe nerves getting to them possibly.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. This is a huge tournament. Both these players probably trying to make a name for themselves. And now getting 2 bunkers at the natural. A little bit worried about some kind of pressure here, but there is nothing coming right now. So a bit of a misread here, but Flashback just content to sit back, get that natural up and running. He also has his robo on the way, so 3-gate expand into robo for him. Generally, you will see players do a bit of aggression with that 3-gate as they expand. I think any Protoss player can definitely afford to do that, and they will also generally go more heavy on the sentries and less on the stalkers. But we do have an engineering bay down right now for Forever. Still hasn't started that +1 upgrade. Maybe he's worried about possible DTs. He does have a turret going up, and it is at the front for any kind of possible DT action. Is that a 3rd bunker we have going down? I believe it is. So very worried about some kind of super hyper aggressive, maybe a 6-gate or a 5-gate. He didn't scout anything to provoke this reaction, so I don't know exactly what his thoughts are behind all this. That being said, Xel'Naga Caverns is a very difficult map to defend your natural, so you have to be very careful regardless. And, you know, 2 to 3 bunkers is definitely a worthwhile investment. There is no 3rd racks going down. Man, his production is severely lacking right now for 2-base. He's just working off of 2 Raxes right now. You could easily be working off of 4, maybe even 5 Raxes right now, depending on the situation. And he's getting a relatively late factory, even though it is after his 2nd Rax. Is he adding 2 more Raxes right now? Yes, he is adding 2 more Raxes, so he is going to go up to 4 Rax here. And I'm okay with this now. If he hadn't added those 2 Raxes, things might have been a little weird there for a second.
Yeah, it seems like both these players are just playing a little over-conservative. Flashbacks, I mean, he's pretty standard now that he has the expansion down. He has a few units out to defend in front, but he was so late to put down that expansion. He seemed like he was just uncertain. Do I put it down now? Is he really going to pressure him with those Marauders? I don't know if I have the units for that, so I'm going to wait, warp in these extra Stalkers. And it just felt very uncomfortable. Now, of course, it did work out for him, of course, because his opponent Forever has kind of been sitting back for a little while and just kind of waiting, just getting himself a starport at the moment. Looks like a couple of tech labs being constructed as well. But otherwise, it seems like a relatively Marauder-heavy MMM composition is going to come out here. Yes, indeed, the starport floating over to the reactor. We already saw before the robotics bay coming up, so this is going to be, at least for the time being, a 4-gate robo build behind Colossi. Looks like Flashback, wow, Flashback really worried about any sort of drop or anything like that, voluntarily splitting the vast majority of his forces in 2. He does have good positioning at the moment, though, has that forward observer. Surprised that that's not at least poking up here around the side. Yeah.
Yeah. Very interesting builds, very interesting play styles. The thing that I don't understand is that both players are reacting to things and they're doing things without scouting things. So this is just, they're purely inferring what's going on right now based on nothing. So it's like, I mean, at least the Protoss player has a little bit of intel. He has that observer. And here we go. It looks like our Terran player is going to push out, not across the map. He's just clearing those rocks, looking to potentially get his 3rd here. But I don't necessarily disagree with this. He already has the command center going up at his natural, I believe, if that's what that is. And yeah, he does have that going up. So he also has his back tasteless secret hallway blocked with supply depots. That might help him out in a little bit. But Flashback knows this is coming now. He should have his forces in position right here to force field and keep that choke. He wants to spread these units out, definitely doesn't want to keep those sentries together, and right now he just needs to be patient and wait. And it looks like our Terran player is not going to press the issue here, doesn't want to overcommit, doesn't want to lose those forces, so Forever is going to head back to his base. And now that he has those 2 medevacs out, I would have liked to have seen him keep the pressure on the natural and then use those medevacs to do some serious damage to the Protoss. If the Protoss is going to give you that much map control and that much map dominance, and he's going to play this passive, he's opening himself up to a possibility of damage at either the 3rd or the main. So would love to see some attempted drop action.
Yeah, absolutely, especially because Flashback has been able to expand continually without any sort of recourse whatsoever. He is dropping down, his 3rd now down at the bottom right. And Flashback, you know, we say that, you know, there's been no aggression out of Forever. There has been 0 attempt to even move up and do any sort of attack, any sort of pressure whatsoever out of Flashback. He did manage to take the Xel'Naga Towers earlier, But, you know, really these players playing extremely passively at the moment. 142 supply for Flashback to 158 for Forever. Our workers, well, actually in favor of Forever at the moment, and he has mules and he has a gold expansion. So, you know, I guess if his strategy is just to sit back, take 3 bases plus a gold, and just be as content as possible to play a macro game, he certainly is doing that, but he's letting his Protoss opponent just do whatever he wants, get whatever sort of units he wants out. Dark Shrine coming down, charge lots being researched. Flashback is amassing quite a powerful army.
Yeah, he certainly is, and he's adding those extra gateways right now. He has 3 more gateways coming, going up to 7 gates, and he's chrono boosting those upgrades. He's getting charge. He is getting weapons. I don't know if does he have any armor upgrades right now? No, he has 0 armor upgrades. Okay, for all you Protoss players out there, when you're playing against Terran and they are making Marines, armor upgrades compounded with Guardian Shield are very, 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 very good. Your zealots can essentially take, I think it goes from 33 to 55 marine shots to kill a zealot, assuming there's +1 armor and Guardian Shield in the mix. So, I mean, just think about that. On paper, it's amazing. And it looks like our Terran player is going to try and push in here, pre-stimming his army. I don't know if that's what he wanted to do right there. He's basically forced himself into this engagement, but the Vikings are doing a great job picking off these Colossus, and it looks like he is going to continue to kite, but getting his entire army force-fielded in half, and that is absolutely terrible for him. It looks like our Protoss player might be able to clean this up, landing his Vikings right in the midst of the Stalkers. I don't know if I agree with this, but our Protoss player doesn't have enough to clean this up at this point. He does have DTs in the mix now. There are no detectors out on the field, and I think those DTs are going to be the difference. They're going to be the reason he is able to thwart this attack, and the only reason he is still in this game right now.
I gotta say, though, both players really playing each other to a draw in that engagement. Although Forever is coming out better of this, he has been at a way better economic situation because of that saturated gold, and he's going to a 4th at the same time. So he is going to be in a better position to reproduce his army, especially because his units are a lot less costly. He'll be able to get the sheer supply out there, but Forever just kind of sitting back for the time being. That was such a weird engagement out of both players. The Vikings did a really nice flanking maneuver over the gold. The Colossus just, you know, had no ability to retaliate against that. There were no support units there to go ahead and take those Vikings out. And I think with a little bit better positioning there, good force fields down for Flashback, but with a little bit better positioning out of his Colossus, I think he would have just not only won that engagement, but solidly crushed that force.
Yeah, I agree. And more importantly, he was able to whittle down that Colossus number, which is so important in this next engagement. You know, as opposed to fighting 4 Colossus, he's probably going to be going up against 2. Depending on how long these 2 wait again, who knows? You know, they might wait another 10 minutes before either of them decides to push anywhere on the map. I really hope he doesn't allow him to get that 4th up on the right side of the map. If Forever gets that 4th up on the right side of the map, Flashback is going to be in a terrible position. And he does have that turret up. He does have that PF up. So it's going to be a little bit more of a chore now to deal with that. He's actually going to have to commit some forces, which will open him up to a possible counterattack somewhere else up on the map.
Yeah, absolutely. And that Planetary Fortress is receiving a bunch of SCVs that are heading down to it. The disparity in forces is actually huge right now. Almost 40 supply difference between the 2 players. And Forever is on 2-2 upgrades, while we see just 0-2 up for Flashback. It looks like the gold expansion did go down. This pylon's going to fall as well. Those Vikings making their way across. They're hoping to pick off a Colossus in the open. Oh, Blink Stalkers coming in. They take out a couple of Vikings, but I don't think that that's going to matter. By itself now, a bunch of these Colossi going down very quickly. The rest of the runners doing a nice job kiting back, taking out a couple of those charge lots. All of the Colossi go down, and Forever is going to have whatever access he wants to take out the rest of these units. There's a couple of DTs in the mix. A couple of nice storms go down, I will admit, and that actually does take out a number of those forces. Scan goes down, though, does take out the DTs. This last Colossus is chewing through the number of very red units that are there, but a nice stim does pick off the Colossus once again, and Forever certainly getting the better of that engagement. Still up by 40-odd supply and in the much better economic position. Still, he'll be able to reproduce that army so quickly.
Yeah, he's in a great position to just... He already has run away with this game, but he's in a great position to seal the deal right now. Just needs to queue up a few more rounds of units. Hopefully, I would love to see him mix in some ghosts right about now. His Protoss opponent has made the Templar switch. He does have Psystorm out on the field, so a few ghosts would work wonders right now. Don't know that he has he is building those ghosts now, so does he have the Mobius reactor on his ghosts? We're trying to find the Ghost Academy. No, he does not have Mobius reactor, so it's going to be a little while before those ghosts have those EMPs ready. However, he does have enough Raxes to just remax way quicker than our Protoss player, so look to see him push across and deny that gold once again as soon as he came out. Oh, and our Protoss player floating a good bit of money right now. He's at 700, 500, so hopefully he spends that, gets a few more High Templar out on the field, and depending on how these Storms go in the next battle here, he might be able to make something happen with Storm, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah, and here comes Forever. He's going to make his way across the map. He is looking for the kill. He smells blood now. He's going to move and deny that assimilator from going down. And a couple of good Storms go down. It does actually orange bar a significant portion of those units. But an EMP comes through, and now none of those Templar have any energy left. They are just going to make Archons here for the time being while more DTs warp in. And looks like those DTs, are they going to get shot down? Yes, they are. DTs really doing nothing at the moment. That Archon not really going to last long in the back of the forces unsupported. And it looks like Forever is going to be able to push through, take out the rest of these units. Flashback is losing his gold once again, and Forever is going to take out the rest of those probes. I think it's just a matter of time now before we see a GG here out of Flashback. He is down to just 70 supply. There's the GG. Forever does go up 1-0 here in this best-of-5 qualifier here for the IPL Season 2.
Yeah, pretty good game. I think both players just a little bit hesitant, feeling each other out for the first game in a series. Probably haven't played each other before. So let's see how both players make adjustments in the second game here. I'm really curious to see if it's going to be more the same or if they will actually make some real-time adjustments, change their builds up a little bit, and hopefully we see a little bit of aggression out of one of these players. Maybe Forever will have a little bit more confidence going into this second game.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was about to say he's up 1-0 now. He kind of knows that his opponent really wants to play passive macro-style game. I would expect some very heavy drop play, some very heavy aggression out of Forever, but we'll bring that to you guys here in just a second. Don't go anywhere. Game number 2 coming right at you.